Hey Staten Island, this is Healthwish, a conversation about the state of healthcare in the fabulous 5th borough. Our aim is to raise issues, raise awareness, and raise health. Because when we raise health, we raise everyone. Today, sadly, we must close the curtain on the wonderful, heartfelt conversations we've shared with one of Staten Island's favorite sons, Mr. Clifford Smith Jr., better known to his legion of fans as Method Man. We conclude with thoughts about what it means to be a credible messenger, and how we can build pathways to better health, better jobs, and a better community. Give a listen.
I just wanted to give you both an opportunity to talk a little bit about health in the community, and I know that's something that's near and dear to both of you. And in general, you've really embraced health and fitness in your life and also talk about it regularly. So any thoughts on how it could be something that could help, especially the younger parts of our community?
Well, I mean, if you're young, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Your metabolism is great, you still have time, eat what the hell you want. Enjoy it now. But by the time you get to, let's say, 30, 40, it's more or less like, metabolism slows down a little bit, hair starts to thin a little bit, you start to gray, and you wanna stay in bed a little bit longer. What do they say? They say 9 p.m. is the new 12 a.m. But I learned, like, for me, it was more or less like I just wanted better for myself all around. And I just wanted something that I could control. Being in the business, you tend to lose yourself sometimes, and you don't seem like you're in control of anything because you feel like people are pulling you this way, you have to be here for this, and nothing's really done too much for you. I mean, it all works for your career, but at the end of the day, nothing's really for you. What can you control? So I started with my body. And over time, I developed this healthy lifestyle. Diet came after that because you cannot do fitness and not take care of your diet. It's like defeating the purpose. It's like having a veggie burger with bacon, real bacon on it. It's like, what the hell are you doing? For me, once the journey started, I knew that it would be levels to it, but I wanted to do it at my own pace. And by the time I got there, it included food, rest, and working out. As far as my food, I follow macros. With macros, you can basically eat whatever you want, but you eat it within your calorie intake. Yep. So for me, it's proteins, fats, carbs, and fibers. Those 4 categories right there, I weigh those, measure those out, and by gosh, it works. I would recommend macros for anybody, and anybody that's in the know. I mean, as long as it has nutrition facts, you can count it. Facts are facts. Numbers do not lie, people. They were not lying about that. Numbers do not lie. And there are times where I can have, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Archway cookies. These are the best cookies on the planet. They're about this big. I get the raspberry filled ones. Amazing cookies. I can have 5 of those a day if I want within my calorie intake. And that's to cover my fats because I eat so much chicken. Lean chicken at that. Huh. Ding. But I would recommend it. Work out at your own pace. I'm not telling everybody to go in there and lift every weight or, run 1,000 miles and things. No, you go at your own pace, whether it be 5 push-ups that morning and then 10 push-ups by the next week. It all works itself.
Well, thank you. It's really inspirational. Somebody who's in that age category, definitely.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Yeah. And Claudette, I know health in the community is a big thing for you, and actually one of the amazing things that you've started is the concept of a Clementine initiative, because there's so little access in some parts of our community to fresh fruit. Tell us a little bit about Clementine and how you think it's going to play a difference in the community.
So Dr. Adolik had a North Shore Summit, and we had community partners, faith-based partners, and residents of the community attend, and he wanted to just speak about his vision for the North Shore and what we're trying to do to raise health. So one of the community members stood up and said, listen, some of us live in food deserts. We don't have a car to get to the big store, ShopRite, Stop and Shop. We shop at these local bodegas, and there are no quality fruits and vegetables.
This is true.
What can Northwell do to help us with that? So we took a lot of stuff back from that summit, and we said, listen, we're going to focus on this. We said we'd start in 10301 New Brighton, and we'd pick a store there. We went to Columbia Meat Market, which has been established 100 years on Staten Island. Oh. It's on Brighton and Jersey Street. We spoke to the owner, Vinny, and he says definitely.
Dope.
So we get the clementines delivered from City Harvest. We're partnering with them.
That's the little oranges, right?
Right.
Them joints is banging.
And we're also giving them other fruits and vegetables.
Whatever we can get.
Right, whatever we can
Avocados
get.
on point,
Right.
Anything
I don't like
that's
avocado.
Plantains.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like avocado.
Cauliflower.
But them clementines, them joints, they're slapping.
And we have also healthy recipes in the store. We have healthy eating tips. We're going to raise their health by nurturing and nourishing their bodies with fruits and vegetables.
That is so dope.
Let me just say, it was one of the most eye-opening experiences for me. When we went out and asked the leaders in that community about how we could help them with healthcare, the thing that came up first, second, and third was, don't talk to me about hypertension. Talk to me about how you're going to get my kids employed.
Right.
How do my kids get the same insurance you have?
Mm.
That really was one of the biggest things, because honestly, we all took that to heart, and it was a very powerful message, and it was something that actually bothered me in terms of really thinking about it. We've put over 170 people through entry-level job training through the SIPPS to get them into entry-level jobs. We've had summer scholarships for underserved youth, and that's just the beginning.
And the community health worker scholarships.
Right, but since you gave me the segue, I figured I'd kind of just let you know that we're doing this.
Yes, I love that, because my question was, because when I was a youth, I had no idea, like, there were so many programs that existed for urban youth. How do people, this is going to help make people aware that there are these programs out there, but what is the first step for, like, because some kids' parents are so withdrawn and just gone that they're basically parenting themselves. What is the first step in order to get in one of these programs?
So here's the thing, it's funny. It's just a lack of information, a lack of knowledge. So if I said to parents on Staten Island, and to kids on Staten Island, listen, you don't know what you want to do. You can go get this technical certificate, and in about a year to 18 months, maybe 2 years, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get a job making a solid living, and all you got to do is go get this certificate, and I'm going to place you in this. Oh, and by the way, you're going to help human beings. But when people think of healthcare, they think of doctor, they think of nurse. They don't think about who thinks that I'm going to go be a laboratory technician.
Yeah.
But if you go do that and then you go become a cytologist, you're talking about certificate degrees. You will always be employed for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
You will actually have a solid job that you can move pretty much anywhere you want in big cities around the country, and they will hire you because there's such a shortage of those people.
It's like a higher level mechanic. Everybody needs a mechanic or a barber, 100%, right? 100%.
Everyone needs to be able to prepare the slides. Everyone needs to be able to pull the things out. These are technical jobs that we need to have, but there's nobody going into them. So getting that information out is key. What we have found, though, is taking a young kid and saying, hey, I'm going to train you to be a cytology technician is almost like saying, I'm going to train you to go to Mars. Right? So what we're trying to do is say, hey, let's get you into an entry-level job. There are people out there that want to work.
Yes.
And they don't have the first clue about how you get there. So we're trying to reach out to them. We're trying to find them and actually get them into these jobs.
But how do the guys, because we all know where to sign up for football at. We all know where to sign up for basketball, baseball. But we don't know where to sign up for these programs at. If maybe it's word of mouth or however, but if the same thing can apply to these, I'm pretty sure, because there are dozens and dozens of brothers and sisters that just want a shot to do anything. They don't know shit. They don't know anything. They don't have the education, anything of that manner, because they've never been around that. They haven't grown up around that, but they are willing to do anything. And when I say anything, if they're willing to kill somebody to put bread on the table, imagine what they're willing to do to have a better life. You know, they'll do the work, they'll do the study, they'll go to the classes because they know what the bottom line and what the end picture is, because they know what the bottom looks like. Nothing's taken for granted.
So yeah, we're actually trying to reach out to them through the organizations that are already in the community, because the reality is sometimes the hardest thing to do is to identify and to put them out. I really think that this is the tip of the iceberg. I think what we're seeing now in terms of programs, this is self-sustaining. I think if we can get the word out and we can start talking to these entities and to big businesses and say, hey guys, we can help create a workforce for you. You got to help us here, help us fund some of the bigger things.
And that was
because the
question.
reality is you need people.
That's why my team is so important, and getting into the schools, having the relationships with the parent coordinators and the principals, and getting the word to them so they can get the word to these kids.
And that's why a program like P-TECH that we actually lobbied for, and we're one of the big partners with Port Richmond High School to actually put this out so we can really expose these kids from 15.
Nice. Maybe it's the messengers.
It is very important that people have both messengers and role models that they understand.
Right.
Speak the language,
Right. part of the reason that I was drawn to your music as a young man is because, my wife is from Stapleton, right? My cousins lived on Tompkins Street.
Yeah.
So that kind of natural
Connection
is something that means something to people. So having credible messengers and also having people that you can model behavior upon is an incredibly important thing.
Yes, that's so important. Say that again, please. Finding people that you can say it again, I'm sorry.
Credible messengers, yeah.
Credible messengers, that right there. I mean, because some people will just tune right the hell out if they don't respect the messenger.
With a young person, it can be hard to make that bridge. So the credible messenger is everything. And that's one of the reasons that your team's become so important. And now what we're trying to do is take your credible messengers and get them into the community and talk to these people that they already have a connection with.
And maybe we take some of the young, let's say EVS workers, transporters, dietary, and bring them out with us in the community and have them speak to the young people. They're going to trust what they have to say.
I believe so.
Versus me, you're a little older, you're already established, but let's bring out some of the young people that work in the hospital. Let them be our messengers going forth.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, in the average white home, the plan, so to speak, for the children, this is entrenched into their psyche, graduate college. You're going to go to college, you're going to graduate. I don't care what the fuck you do after you graduate from college, but you're going to college. In the average black home, graduate high school. That's it. Graduate, nothing else after that, nothing to strive for after that, just graduate high school. And then when high school is done, it's usually the mom that tells the son, find a trade, which is usually fixing stuff, some kind of labor, and that's why this stuff is so important, where it's like, if you give them the path to follow, they will follow it. I'm so sure they will, because who doesn't want a better life, especially for themselves? Forget about the family. The family is what it is at that point in time, but who doesn't want a better life for themselves? The first law of nature is self-preservation. If you can take care of yourself, then you can take care of the others around you. So,
and we are trying to get out into the community. And the reality is, take those kids that might go and actually work as a car mechanic, which is a great trade,
it's noble.
Great profession.
Yes. Right. But we got a lot of those.
But here's the thing. Maybe I can convince some of those kids to go learn how to operate an ultrasound machine and actually do that for the rest of their lives.
How about the human transmission?
Yeah. Like, you can come take images of people, and to be honest with you don't have to go through 20 years of school, right? But that's not for everybody. I think one of the things that we're realizing is we're sending all these kids to college, and there ain't jobs for some of these people when they come out.
Yeah, but this is because there isn't a path of light that says, look, this is sitting right here. When you have doctor in big bold letters right here, nobody's gonna see technician or, transport. Nobody's gonna see that. No one sees that. You know who sees that? Some of these kids, like Marquise's age, they see that because they have parents that are fully aware 100%. Of programs like this. And these kids are put into positions not only to better themselves, but to win for the rest of their lives, as well as for their kids.
But see, it starts at home.
Going to 49, I remember the question came up, we were all in the auditorium, and it's career day, I guess, and they had people come up and speak to us. I'm zoned out. I'm sitting here with one of my knucklehead friends, we're cracking jokes. So the question comes up, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm already a teenager. 13, I think I know every freaking thing. I look at him, I'm like, I want to be rich. And who knows where the conversation went after, because after that, I kind of zoned out about it because I thought about it and I was like, that was a great freaking answer. That's the first time I ever thought of something off the top of my head that really made sense to me. And I'm not saying I'm in the position that I'm in now because of that. I'm just saying it's kind of weird that that was the first thing that popped into my head, and now I can actually say, I'm freaking rich. It's weird. The point I'm trying to make is kids at that age don't know what they want to be, but when the question is posed to us, especially as adolescents under the age of 12, first thing we're going to say, lawyer, doctor, movie star, something that has the status that we've been shown our entire young lives.
Right.
This is a doctor is status, lawyer is status, a politician, things of that nature. So these are the things that we pick. But there are never any roads. When they ask us this and we tell them this, they never give us the roadmap to how to get there. It's like, oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's great. Like, you're supposed to say that as a child. Yes, and you can be anything you want to be until you get there and they tell you, no. There's certain steps, like you have to do this, you have to do that, and then money becomes involved. I wanted to be a Boy Scout when I was 5. I went for 3 weeks straight for the whole training thing and everything. My dad even gave me $2 for the book. And he had to scramble for that $2. $2 had the book, everything. And I'm reading this book, learning stuff and all that. When it came time to get those uniforms, right? And I was guessing I was one of the favorite because we went on field trips and all that. When it came time to get those uniforms, don't you know I could not come back because I didn't have a uniform, which cost money, by the way.
Right.
They would not let me come back because I didn't have a uniform. Heartbroken.
Yeah, just to kind of feed into one thing and just kind of connecting to, especially, go chase that dream. Go do it. But is there any opportunity for you to maybe have a backup plan?
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that to people sometimes is there are a lot of people who are incredibly talented that it just doesn't happen. There's a lot of athletes that tear apart their knee at the wrong time in their career and then it ends and they've done nothing wrong and they could have made it.
Because it's a lottery, that's why.
Can you go figure out how to maybe set yourself up where if you're one of the unlucky ones and you did nothing wrong and you did everything right but it just didn't work out, I don't know. Having an insurance policy where you can come back home and make, a real living and support a real family, there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't even have to be full college necessarily.
This is true.
So that's one thing I'd love to get out there, and it's one of the things that I think that you're a credible messenger on, and say, go for your dream. Go for it 100%. But maybe, I don't know, go get that ultrasound certificate.
Right.
Go become a lab tech just in case.
This is true.
Your foot falls off. You got something you could do.
But in my line of work, it's more or less like keep writing. You never know. You can get a hit or keep trying. You never know. But in these professional realms, you have to study. And where the disconnect comes is when it's like, how do I get there? From where I am, I'm at the bottom. How do I get there? We don't have you in my school or in my community. We don't have a Claudette in this part of the community. There's a kid in Brooklyn right now who can't even go to school because one, his mom doesn't have any paperwork or anything on him. Two, he's probably never gotten his shots because his family, maybe they're dope fiends or just, not a good place to be. It could be a foster kid. But there's a kid right now that is super duper smart but doesn't have a chance because he's in a place where we cannot see him.
Right.
Have you heard the quote, the world equally distributes talent, but it doesn't equally distribute opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
deep. That's deep.
And I think that's an incredibly powerful quote. It's not my quote. I've heard it multiple times.
It fits perfect.
Wow.
But it really kind of sums up, I think, what you're talking about.
It definitely does.
This conversation is amazing, and I think we could probably talk for more hours.
Probably.
But I did want to ask you one last question before I had to sadly say goodbye.
Yes.
This place, I'm always amazed when I walk in here that this place is in Staten Island, and that so many people who grew up on Staten Island didn't even know it existed. And I know that you've done work here, that you've performed here. I just want to really give a shout out to what this place means to a place like Staten Island, having something like this on Staten Island, how important that is. Just wanted to ask your thoughts on that.
There are guys in the crew that they grew up here, and Raekwon the chef seen The Wizard of Oz here. They had a showing of The Wizard of Oz here. So, I mean, this place, Staten Island as a whole, when big business came in, a lot of people got moved out. A lot of small businesses got moved out. I mean, the meat market and the fruit market that we used to go to where oats on the stands and things, all of that stuff is gone. I mean, we used to have Plaza Store, all that stuff is gone. It's been replaced by Home Depot or whatever. But there are certain staples in the community that will be there forever, and we have to preserve them. And I am honored to say that the St. George Theater is one of those places. This place has so much history that some of the Wu-Tang Clan members' mothers came here as kids.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So this place means a lot to this community, and hopefully it'll be here 1,000 years.
I watched your last performance, your versus battle.
Oh yeah, we did that here. I asked for this place exclusively too. I said, let's do it at the St. George Theater. They got the acoustics here. Let's go.
It was awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. This was truly a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Honored to be here, man.
Thank
and Claudette
you.
know how we do. Sis.
Thank you,
Yes,
big
Lord.
bro.
Yes, Lord.
I want to thank everybody for being here. It's a tremendous opportunity for us to really talk to a legend of Staten Island for a long time, and really a hero for actually some of the amazing philanthropic work that you've done.
Philanthropic. See, I got it. Yeah.
There you go. And thank you, Claudette, for being here. Really, the work that you've done on Staten Island all these years, and yourself being one of these people that people can reach out to, and a real mentor for people. Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Healthwish wishes to thank our very special guests, Clifford Method Man Smith Jr. and Administrative Director of Community Health, Claudette Hill. Thanks for watching Healthwish. We hope to see you again soon.